we actually get more intel about Greg Peters and his family, and things get a little hot between Rondell and Kent Hamilton. Let's talk about it. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to KRS TV. This is your boy Kenny, and this is Ambition Season 1, Episode 8. And the name of this episode is Backstabbers. Man, this episode was really good. And let me begin here. The episode opens up. Amara is working out, getting in her cardio. And then all of a sudden we see that Titus comes in. And she was like, Titus, I've been looking for you. What's been going on? You didn't get to bed till like 4 in the morning. And he pretty much tells her that he went out for a late night drive or whatever. But we can definitely see how the way Amara is looking, she ain't buying it. Because Amara is an attorney and she likes to get to the bottom of shit. And she got that instinct that she knows that Titus is not being honest with her. And she's like, my beautiful husband, why are you lying to me? To herself. So I'm like, yeah, she noticed that Titus ain't being completely truthful about what's going on. So then we get a scene with Greg and Stephanie, because she has been opening up the buffet, letting him get free samples of chocolate, all he can eat. They getting freaky on the couch and everything, and then all of a sudden we hear these goons come in, and he immediately picks up Stephanie, takes her upstairs, and tells her, do not make a sound, say nothing. So we see that these goons come in with this woman, and her name is Natasha. We come to find out that Natasha and Greg are cousins. But then we come to find out even more, they're kissing cousins. So I'm like, a little bit of incest up in here. So pretty much Natasha pretty much tells him, your father wants to move ahead, and he says either you make the move or you will be finished. And she tells him you got 1 week, and then she lays that kiss onto motherfucking Greg. And then Stephanie hears everything. And pretty much after, they leave, Stephanie finally comes back into the scene, and she's like, what the hell was that? And pretty much, she starts to see that Greg is more sinister than she thought. All this time she thinking Greg is like the main honcho, but she realized he comes from a very powerful family just like hers, but his family is far more sinister and more deadly. And she pretty much says that, you know what, you're not going to involve me in any of your mess. And she pretty much says that, and first of all, I do not like being discarded and hidden in a closet. So that you can, play, kissing games with your cousin. So she pretty much lets him know, as far as the chocolate factory, you have officially been cut off. And she walks out, and then and like the thing about it, Greg is such a cocky motherfucker. He don't even care. He was like, please, you'll be back. Yeah, because he been tearing Stephanie up. So she probably will. I actually agree with Greg on that. But then Greg is kind of like nonchalant about this shit. Because, the goons came in there and roughed him up. He kind of laughing and kikiing about it. He's like, yeah, whatever. I got it. It's all good. But if anything, we also know that Stephanie now knows that there's more to lose if they don't get Thelma's place. That they all can be in danger, and everything that's attached to them could fall apart, including Senior and Rondell. So then So then we pretty much back at the Department of Justice, we see that Amara meets up with Damien. Damien has had, created this grid on Mayor Lancaster. And she pretty much tells Damien that she told Titus that the two of them are working together. And then within the process of this, he takes the picture of Stephanie and put it right next to Evan. And pretty much, Amara's like, why do you think Stephanie is a part of this? And if anything, Damien knows more about Stephanie than Amara realizes, because Stephanie is the main reason why he's there. But then again, Damien has his own agenda too. And pretty much he was saying that you got this very powerful man who's making these moves. You don't think that his powerful half, his wife, doesn't know about his shenanigans and doesn't know about his dirty dealings? And he says, remember, when it comes down to chess, the power lies with the queen on the throne. And then he walks out, and I'm like, oh, that's his way to get back at Stephanie's ass, because Stephanie blackmailed him, and she knows about his she knows about his situation that he was involved in before he got with Amara. So, but then Amara begins to kind of question this, like, what the hell is going on here? But then it also got a wheels turning that, yeah, if Evan is doing all this crooked shit, his wife, 9 times out of 10, will probably be in on it, because, that's her husband. And usually the wife knows just as much, if not more, than the husband. So we got that go on. Then we see that Titus and Amara are having lunch at Thelma's restaurant. Rondell is actually waiting on them, and pretty much Amara actually suggests that Titus help Rondell with her movement to save the banks, because before he began working for Purifoy, he had his own practice, and he was that kind of attorney that was trying to fight for the rights of the black community. And then all of a sudden we see Kent Hamilton comes in. And remember, Amara and Kent Hamilton know each other, because she went to him in regards to the case that she's building against Mayor Evan Lancaster, and he was the one that pointed her to his mistress, who was Daphne. So pretty much when she sees this, and also notices that Kent Hamilton is dating Rondell, so pretty much immediately, she begins to kind of question Kent Hamilton, like, so that's your MO? You're going after his sister? And he pretty much tells Amara it's nothing like that. And like Amara's like, are you sure about that? So Mara is sharp. She be peeping some bullshit. Like, you kind of getting close to the sister to try to shut down Evan in that way. Now you got Rondell onto you. Are you using this as a way to take down Evan? So then, because like after all, it's no coincidence you trying to take down the mayor, but now you dating the mayor's sister. So then we see Amara and Titus leave, because they got to get back to work and shit. And then we see that Kent and Rondell have a conversation, and he's asking her, how are things going with your movement to save the bank? She says that I could be doing a hell of a lot more, but I can only be at one place at one time. And and he says that, well, how about this idea? How about we create it? How about we create an event where we can bring the community to you, since Rondell runs the restaurant, so she just can't up and run off anytime she wants to. So then we get a scene with Inez and Bella. And you remember Inez is Bella's mother, and she also works at Thelma's restaurant with Rondell and Sr. So we see that Inez is looking at these nice houses, and she shows them to Bella, and Bella's like, wow, these are nice. You finally planned on moving out of the banks? And she was like, no. This is I'm looking at these houses as a home for you and Roderick, and when you guys get married, he can adopt Joaquin. So that let me know right there, Inez has no idea that Mayor Lancaster is the father of Joaquin, and neither does Roderick. So I'm like, Bella is one shady bitch. But then Bella tells her mother, well, that's not going to happen because me and Roderick broke up. And immediately Inez was like, what did you do? And she was like, what makes you think I did anything? Because she says that, you know, due to the fact you didn't have a dad around, you do have this, you know, you do have this tendency to, you know, to self-destruct yourself. And he was saying that, you know, well, and then, then, you know, Bella was like, well, that explains it. I mean, I didn't have my dad around. But then Inez lets her know, but sweetheart, that worked when you were in your teens, but you are a grown woman with a child of your own. You need to, but then she tries to, she pretty much changes the subject. It's like, but mom, you're all up in my love life. You should be focusing on the love life of your own and all of that. And we see that Bella is actually getting some fabrics and stuff together because she's expecting to meet Valentina. Remember on the last episode, Evan set up a meeting with her. So she's expecting Valentina to show up. But they get a knock on the door. So she's ecstatic and excited because she's like about to take her career to the next level and everything. But when she opens the door, it's not Valentina. So yeah, so pretty much we see that go on, but yeah, it ain't Valentina, but I'm gonna get back to that. So let's keep it moving. So then we see that Stephanie's at the office. Irene is dressed in a gown, and she was saying that, you know, why aren't you dressed, Stephanie? We're supposed to be going to this birthday party. And she's like, you know what? It totally slipped my mind. And then she begins to ask her mother, you know, what do you know about Greg Peters' construction? Well, she says that, well, at first, the construction was actually handled, it was actually controlled by Novak, who's Greg's father. He's the original owner, and she says that Greg is a teddy bear compared to his father. And she begins to ask her mother questions, you know, how dangerous is this family? She pretty much says that, look, you know, what ended up happening was that, you know, Greg's father was the head of the company, but due to a lot of his shady dealings, they made him step down, which made Greg the head of it. And, you know, Greg's construction is pretty much a subsidiary company to his father's company. So that's how it's going on. And then Stephanie brings up the fact that, you know, with all of the with Rondell getting all of these, you know, people signing the pledge, she may block the development. And pretty much, and she's saying that, look, you know, we gotta stop this damn girl before she gets herself killed, because she don't know who she fucking with. And Irene says, I'll talk to Evan, you know. But then, if anything, Irene done picked up on all this shit, and she pretty much says that, but one thing I'm gonna let you know, daughter, if you're gonna play with fire by sleeping with Greg Peters, be sure you're the one controlling the flames, because it's no fun getting burnt. Believe me, I know. And I was like, ooh, so Miss Irene done cheated on Steven. So I was like, oh shit. So she kind of put it together while she's asking all this information, because she knows she done put herself in a bed of hell fucking around with Greg Peters. And mother let her know, you better be on top of that shit, because you can get your ass fucked up. And she already knew, yeah, y'all fucking. Damn mother, you can't get nothing past Irene, because Irene is very shrewd and malicious. And we see that's where Stephanie gets that shit from. So then, going back to Bella and Inez, as I said, she's supposed to be meeting with Corazon Textiles, because she's supposed to be working with them, and she's supposed to be their designer, using their textiles and fabrics. So she's expecting Valentina to arrive so they can have this one-on-one meeting. She gets a knock on the door. She opens the damn door. It's not Valentina, but her son Ignacio, who's the chief officer. So in a way, she feels jaded that, damn, that motherfucker Evan lied to me again. And not only that, what they have is a provisional deal. She thought it was a solid deal between the two of them. It's actually a provisional deal. So means she's going to be given a trial run. And if they like what she brings, they may discuss doing something permanent. So, and pretty much, if anything, Bella feels some kind of way, because again, as I said, that damn Evan Lancaster is one shady motherfucker. He is so damn shady, it's ridiculous. But also Ignacio. But she says that. But then Bella says, but I was told by the mayor that this was going to be a long-term deal. But then he says, well, the thing is, Evan is the reason why we chose to look into you. Because he made us look through your profile, and yeah, we're interested, but we need a trial run to see, are you somebody that we want to work with? So again, she really sees that she's going to really have to step her shit up if she's going to land this. And on top of it, she thought she was going to be meeting with the actual head, Valentina, but she ended up meeting with his son. But I have to say, Ignacio is fine, and you can definitely tell Bella's looking at him, because Bella's a damn hot pocket, and she ready to jump on some meat, because her and Roderick broke up, and she looking for her next piece of meat, and we know Bella will do any and everything to get to the top. So then all of a sudden we see that Titus is in a parking lot, and he goes there to face off with Damien Collins, and he pretty much says that, and he pretty much charges at Damien and tells him, like, you need to stay the hell away from my wife. And pretty much, Damien starts talking shit, and he's like, well, if you doing your job as a husband, I wouldn't be able to. And he's saying that, won't you do something? What you gonna do, bruh? Do something. Be a man for once. And then Amara immediately intervenes, and pretty much she says that, what the hell are you doing here, Titus? Karen saw you on the monitors and came to me and says, what the hell is your husband doing in the parking lot? And he's saying that, I just came to check this motherfucker to make sure he stays in his lane. But yeah, before Amara arrives, he pretty much throws it out there that, oh, you really think you big and bad, huh? Yeah, but what about Shasha Herndon? You remember her? Lester's wife? I don't see you laughing now, huh? And that's when Amara intervenes and says, you can't be doing this shit, Titus. This is my job. You ain't supposed to be here. And what the hell are you doing in this parking lot, charging off and everything? So Damien gets in his car, and Titus and Amara go back and forth, and she says that, look, you're doing exactly what he wants you to do. You need to get the hell out of here before you cause any more problems than you already have, and you need to chill out. So that was the end of that. Then we get a scene with Evan and Irene. she comes up in there with her chinchilla wrapped around her, you know, and that damn Evan starts chiming in saying that, wow, how many animals had to die to wrap that around your ass? And then pretty much she says, then they start going back and forth, and she was saying that, look, I know you're upset about what I did to Rondell, but trust me, I didn't mean any harm. Why would I harm your sister? You're like another son to me. And he's looking like, you evil bitch. But then she lets it be known that, but I came here to let you know, you need to stop Rondell for all of our sakes. And she pretty much says that, look, she almost got, so pretty much, you know, Evan says that, look, she almost got enough signatures to stop Greg Peters and English Rose from moving in to take over Thelma. So it looks like in this case, Rondell done won this one. And she pretty much lets it be known, don't be so sure about that, Evan. And she kind of pats him and then walks the hell out. I was like, that damn Irene is just as conniving as damn Stephanie. It's like, whoo, this is gonna be some shit. So we see that Damien is up in his little hotel room and shit. And the thing about it, remember on the last episode, Titus hacked into Amara's computer and got, you know, Damien Collins' information. So he knows where Damien is staying. So what he ends up doing is that he gets a knock. So Damien gets a knock on the door, and these two hood dudes come up in there, and he pays them to beat him up. And this is how he's gonna set up Titus, and saying that Titus physically assaulted him. So this crazy son of a bitch, like, really tells these guys to hit me. The first guy starts hitting him, and he's like, you know what? You hit like a little punta. And then all of a sudden, you know, he's still hitting them and shit. And he keeps coming back like, wow, here it is. I thought you dudes was from the banks, but y'all just proving that the banks ain't shit. Then the other one got in and started to literally beat Damien Collins' ass. Got him all bloody and everything. Knocked him out. He's damn near unconscious. He kind of staggers back up, sits in the chair. He's bloody and shit. He's like, again. I'm like, see, Stephanie, bitch, you done literally brought a psychopath back into their damn lives. Here your ass is trying to get him to break up Amara and Titus, but you don't even realize that this guy is psychotic. And he can not only bring harm, but he can also bring danger to the both of them. So then we get the scene at Rondell's community event at Thelma's place. You know, she got food and everything, and then one of the ladies was trying to get food, and she stopped just like, you don't get no food until you sign the petition. And then Senior was like, you heard what my daughter said, sign a petition and you can get something to eat. Like, and she just kind of like, and went over there and signed that petition. She's like, nah, we ain't just giving y'all free food. If you ain't supporting, you ain't eating. So I thought that was a good move. So then we also see that, you know, Kent shows up, and he's there lending his support, but then somebody else shows up. This little pretty hot thing named Desiree. She shows up, and she is literally being overly flirtatious with Kent right in front of Rondell. And even Senior seeing it and is pissing him off. Rondell pretty much tries to distract it like it's not really bothering her, and she just decides, oh, I'm going, you know, focus on this. And we can see that Kent is kind of resistant, like, yo, but we can definitely tell that Desiree and Kent done interacted before, so it ain't like, you know, nothing never happened. But the way she's coming up in there being overly flirtatious is kind of making it seem that there's still something going on between them while he's dating Rondell. And we can definitely see that, yeah, Senior didn't like that shit, because that's his baby, and no man wants any guy messing with their daughter. So then we get this scene between Evan and Bella. You know, well, pretty much, you know, they start discussing, you know, Joaquin and about them setting it up where he can see his son. That damn Bella decides to flip it and was like, well, I don't know, maybe I can kind of set up a provisional, you know, and maybe after 6 weeks I can decide whether you can see my son on a full-time basis. And he pretty much says that, and then he's like, oh, really? After all I've done for you, this is how you gonna come off at me? And he was saying, and then Bella's like, but you promised me. You promised me that I was going to meet with Valentina. And you also promised me that I was going to get a long-term deal. And yet, this is the shit I get? And that damn Evan was like, you are so damn ungrateful. Many designers would kill to be working with Corazon Textiles. And she's like, I'm not like most designers. I'm like, okay, Bella. Bella, you may feel that way, but bitch, you act like your ass is established. You're trying to get established, and he did help you. Shit didn't go the way he told you it was gonna go, but he did set up a provisional, it's like an audition with this textile company, and if you make good on it, they can discuss a long-term contract. So in all retrospect, he is helping her ass, but it's just not going the way Bella wanted, and Bella's fucking ego just can't see it. And I'm like, bitch, you really be doing the most with this man, and like, you ain't gonna be happy till he beat your ass. Like, you just keep doing shit. And I'm just like, bitch, you are doing the most. And then she says that, yeah, I'm not like most designers, and you can attest to that. And he was like, yeah, me, Roderick, and the Italians Falcons team, if you really don't mind me saying so. I was like, oh, Evan is nasty as shit. And then he said, and then she's like, yeah, and you lied about Valentina. Her son is who I met. I should have never trusted you. And he was like, yeah, and the feeling is mutual, bitch. And he says that I will see my son one way or another. So yeah, that's not just a threat, that's a fucking promise, knowing Evan. So, and then she goes getting all emotional again. I'm like, bitch, you keep coming for this man, thinking you that bad bitch. But boo-boo, he's holding the strings. And it's like Bella just thinks that she's this, her ego has gotten so big that she just thinks that she got the upper hand and shit. But she really doesn't. And he can just rip the rug right from under her. But we know how Bella is. Bella always gonna find a way to get what she wants. That's just how she moves. But she be doing too damn much. So I'm like, this damn girl I'm like, Bella need to go sit her ass down somewhere with her skank ass. Anyway. So then we get a scene with Amara and Titus. They argue about him, about Titus showing up at her job and all of this, and they go back and forth, and then all of a sudden we see that the police show up and they arrest Titus for assault on Damien Collins. And we see that damn Damien is literally watching the video footage, and they see that the police rough him up and pretty much handcuff him and take him to jail. And he's literally sitting back laughing and shit. I'm like, you evil piece of shit. Like, he will do any and everything to get Amara, even frame Titus. And it's kind of his MO. And I'm going to get into that in a minute. So then we see that Inez is at Thelma's place with Rondell Sr. and Lunel, you know, Senior's girlfriend, the deaconess at the church with the nice church hat. You know, they sitting there and they discussing Kent and Desiree, so they all saw how Desiree was literally trying to throw her cookie onto Kent. And Rondell's like, yeah, I'm gonna get to the bottom of this shit. I don't know what the hell's going on, but yeah, that wasn't cool. And they all was like, yeah, something ain't right with that. Yeah, you might want to look into that and find out what's going on. So finally, we see that after Titus gets locked up, Amira posts his bail. He pretty much gets out of jail, and he obviously is humiliated because he's an attorney, and if this gets out, this can affect his position at Hunter, at Purifoy Cosmetics, and with Hunter and Lori, and that if this gets out, I could be disbarred. And then he finally says that, look, I need to tell you something, and it's all making sense as to why this happened. Because I didn't assault Damien. Damien set me up. And then he tells her that the night that he came to bed 4 a.m, he did go out to drive, but he drove all the way to Birmingham, Alabama. And he talked to a prosecutor that knows about Damian Collins. And he mentions this guy, Lester Herndon, a case he worked on prior to him and Amara partnering up, and that he was having an affair with Lester's wife. And that's his MO. He sleeps with married women and then goes to destroy their husbands. And then he says that the thing is, you can't fight Damon. And she's like, look, we can fight this, but we got to do it the right way. And Titus is like, nah, a person like that, you gotta, the way you fight his crazy is with crazy. So we saw that's the end of that. So he has literally said that, yeah, the war is on. Because now his career is now in jeopardy because of Damien. And Damien will intentionally set that shit up because his whole mission is to break them up and to get Amara for himself. So then we get a scene with Bella and Ignacio. She does a fashion show using their textiles and silk. He's impressed with both the line and with her. So we already kind of see that, yeah, Bella and Ignacio gonna end up probably rolling around in the bushes sooner than later. So then after that, we get a scene with Irene and Stephanie. Irene pretty much talks about, Rondell's, website, for people to sign the petition to stop the banks. So, but then she tells Stephanie, yeah, I talked to your husband. But then she says that, look, we got to take Rondell down because she don't even realize that if she goes along with this, Greg Peters as well as English Rose is going to go havoc on them, and she's going to put her and Senior in danger with if this actually goes through. And pretty much she said, and then pretty much Irene says, yeah, and the thing is, she got enough signatures to stop English Rose in regards to this. And she pretty much says that she pulls up the information and says that this is the website for Rondell's petition. And then all of a sudden Stephanie's like, Mom, you're a genius. So what they're gonna do is hack her website and probably discredit a lot of those people who signed the petition, so her petition will fail. And I was like, ooh, these bitches are ruthless. So then we get a scene between Rondell and Kent. So obviously Rondell is pissed, and she lets it be known. So what the hell going on between you and Desiree and shit? And he admits him and Desiree went out on a few dates, but nothing happened. But for some odd reason, she keeps coming after me. And so she's like, so this is what it is? You playing this little game with me while you running around with other women? Is that what the fuck is going on? Because she says that, look, I ain't got time for no games, Kent. If that's what you doing, then we might as well kill this shit, because I ain't got time for it. And he's like, look, why are you believing the bullshit? You're the one I want. And she says, say that one more time. He's like, you're the woman that I want, Rondell. I want you. I don't want Desiree. You know, I want to be with you. She was like, my daddy gone. You want to come upstairs? And the next thing you know, them two sweating it up between the sheets. So Kent and Rondell are getting hot and sweaty upstairs, you know. And I was like, and she curling her legs up. You see her little legs go up in the air. I'm like, Rondell! You better get yours, baby. I ain't mad at you. But you need to keep your eyes open because Kent's still on the fence with me. I don't trust his ass. Even though Kent Hamilton is fine as hell. Anyway. So therefore, then we see that Stephanie goes to see Greg Peters, and she lets Greg know, I took care of your Rondell problem, but she says that, but you're toxic though, and you're dangerous. So I don't know. She said that I'll work with you on business, but that's about it. And pretty much he's like, you like it though, just like me. You like danger. But she says that, yeah, I do like danger, but I don't like screwing common miscreants, and I'm over it. And then all of a sudden, once Stephanie left, he was like, you'll be back for more. I'm like, you cocky son of a bitch. Like, he know he got some good dick. And he kind of be like, yeah, your ass will be back. So therefore, Bella is in her apartment working, and she gets a knock on the door, and it's a cake delivery. And when she opens up the cake, it's a cake. It's a pink and white cake, and the word "whore" is actually on top of the cake and icing. And she's like, Roderick. And then she kind of like, eats the icing. It's like, nice. I'm like, keep on fucking around, Bella. You don't know if Roderick probably may have another link, or he may have another thing. So I don't think we've seen the end of Roderick at all. But Roderick kind of let it be known, oh bitch, game on, whore. I was like, here's some cake, whore. So that shit's gonna be crazy as hell. So then, pretty much the next morning, Kent and Rondell wake up after Kendall put it down on Rondell and had her legs up in the air, clicking them like she just didn't care. They look at the website and they see that they got all the votes, so she's thinking it's victorious and everything. And then all of a sudden, she checks it. So then her and Kent start having a conversation. But then when she goes back, she sees that 60% of the votes were unaccountable because the people didn't live in the district. So she lost the fight, and she pretty much breaks down and everything, because they're about to lose Thelma's place, and Greg Peters and English Rose is about to take their land. And then all of a sudden we see that pretty much Stephanie went into her website and rigged the voting, and she's pretty much, so pretty much you see Stephanie just sitting there like, sorry, Rondell. But you kind of see now that a bitch from the Banks is no match to a bitch from Burkhead. And that's where the shit ended. I'm like, Stephanie, you evil bitch. So pretty much Rondell had the upper hand, and you literally rigged her shit so that they can take it over. And I'm like, yo, when this shit hits the fan, it's gonna be crazy. So that's what I have, y'all. If I missed anything, put it down in the comments. I love to talk to you about it. But yes, again, also check out my sister Kayla of Rambling Reviews. She does great reviews of Ambitions. Me and her love this show, and I love how she addresses Robin Givens like the legendary blacktress Robin Givens. I get a kick every time she does it. But definitely check out Rambling Reviews and watch her reviews of Ambitions. So Subscribe to my channel. Click that bell so you get notifications every time I drop a video. Also, follow me on all of my social platforms. I have them all listed in the description box. Also, like this video, comment on this video, and share this video. And I'll be back with the next episode of Ambitions, and I can't wait because this shit is good. So until next time, everybody, take care.